Welcome to Resourceful Explorations. Today we're going to learn how to draw cubes using the perspective method. Today we're going to start with 1-point perspective, and we're going to draw 9 different cubes to show you how to draw the cube when it's at different angles in relation to yourself. This is actually a really great technique that will help you be able to draw buildings or anything that's kind of made out of 90-degree angle things. It's fantastically useful anytime you're doing things in the houses, rooms, buildings, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so the first thing you'll want to do is find a kind of deck of cards, or really anything that's kind of a cube or a rectangular prism, and then you'll need pencil and paper, and that's it. Okay, so the deck of cards or your rectangular prism is a reference to show you what you're kind of trying to get done today. So the main thing we need to think about is what is our perspective when we're drawing. And one of the main vocabulary words we're going to talk about is your eye level. So you're going to start with your paper horizontal like this. And then if you have a ruler, you can use it. If you don't worry about it. And you're going to draw a horizontal line through the middle. And this line represents your eye level. Okay, so what that looks like is if my cube, my rectangular prism, is at my eye level, I'm looking straight at it. Okay, so if I'm going to draw things on my eye level, it will be on this line. Now if it's above my eye level, I'm trying to draw things way up here, that'll be up here above on the page. And if it's down here below my eye level, it'll be down here. For all the ones we're doing today for 1-point perspective, the front face of your block is going to be parallel to your chest. We're not going to do anything on an angle like this. We'll save that for when we do 2-point perspective on a different day. Okay? So the first one we're going to draw is if we hold our block at eye level, straight, looking straight on it. It helps if you close one eye to help you get everything just right. Okay? Now, this is the easiest one because all you should be able to see is just the face of the cube. Okay, I made a little template to make this faster. Boop, boop. Okay, it's just a square or a rectangle, okay? Now, it gets a little bit tricky for pretty much every single other one. Okay, so now we're going to have eye level, but what if it's over here to my left? So if it's still on my eye level, close one eye, slide it over here. You should be able to see the front face and one of the side faces, okay? So we know the front face is going to be just like the other one. I don't think I'm going to use my template. Now the question is, what am I going to do with this little short side here? Now this method is awesome because it is a mathematically based method and it works super well. Okay, so what we need to know is, because we're drawing on a 2-dimensional plane, some object that is 3-dimensional, we have to represent it in a certain way. Okay, so these edges here that would go into the page, if I was drawing like this, boop, they're parallel in real life, right? This line and this line are parallel in real life. But because they're going into the page, we can't represent them as truly parallel. And so what you need to know is that these parallel lines that would be going into the page are actually going to converge in the drawing world, okay? And they're going to converge on the eye level. So we put a dot right in the middle of the page. What happens is you're going to go from the top corner to this dot here. Okay? I'm going to go from the bottom corner to this dot here. Okay? Now here's the crazy thing. I'm going to redo this with a straight edge so you can see it better. Okay? Now, depending on how thick mine is a card deck, so it's pretty thin. I don't have a lot of thickness, so I'm just going to come in here and make a little sliver. Okay, but see how these two parallel lines, these two would be parallel in real life? they're going to converge to the same point on the eye level, okay? Now if you want to, you can go ahead and erase this other part because that was just helpful for us. Well, what I like to do is just shade this portion of my cube to make it better. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, what I recommend you do is pause the video and guess what's going to happen over here on this other side. Hold it up over here and see if you can figure out what will happen on the other side. Okay? So in the meantime, I'm going to draw it out for you. Have my square. Now on this side, my short side is going to be over here. It's going to, because those edges are going to go into the page. That means they're going to go to this vanishing, it's called the vanishing point. It's on the eye level. So look at that. And then I can shade this in too. Okay. So you could go ahead and erase it or not connect it all the way like I did. But it should be clear that these all go here. Now again, if you're sneaky, go ahead and try to guess what the top and bottom one are. So again, hold it straight, close one eye and go down. Hold it straight, close one eye and go up. Those are your next two cubes you're going to do. So it's going to be, I'll draw this one more like a card set instead of like a cube, so it would be longer and thinner. And then the short side, the part that's going into the page, is on the bottom here. So I'm going to go from the corner to the vanishing point, from the corner to the vanishing point. And then again, it's a card deck, so it's got a little short bit. There we go. Next one, from the corner to the vanishing point, from the corner, corner to the vanishing point. It's a card deck, so it's nice and thin. And then again, we can shade this short edge, shade the short edge. I think that's easier than trying to erase. I'm not a great eraser. Okay, now for the tricky ones. The tricky ones are the corner ones. So again, if you're thinking sneaky, you're sneaky, pause the video and guess what you're going to get here. I like to just start by drawing the front face in each corner. Okay, so if you haven't already figured it out, what we're going to do is go corner to vanishing point, corner to vanishing point, corner to vanishing point. Now that part's not that tricky. What gets tricky are doing these vertical edges here, the back ends and this one. So remember in these first ones, these three sides are all parallel in real life, right? Well, they're still going to be parallel on these corner ones. It just gets trickier to draw them for some reason. So, if I'm going to make this look like a cube, I need to make sure that these vertical lines stay true parallel. Okay, so look, all three of these are still parallel. And then this guy, these horizontal ones are going to be parallel. And then I've got to connect from here back like this. So we have parallel, 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 parallel for vertical. And then the ones that are going to go into the page are the ones that are going to converge. So these three are going to converge. Okay? So if you watched me on this one, pause the video and try to do one of the other corners. Okay, now we have all of our blocks created, and now you're saying, why do I care? Well, the cool thing is how you can combine these things to make other cooler things. So for example, if this is a house and I want to put a big doorway on there, I know that these verticals are going to stay vertical, and these horizontal ones are going to go to the same vanishing point. And I just made a door on there, and it actually looks right. Now if you want to make that a hallway, we can, because we know that the hallway would be parallel to these guys. So we would go like this. Now it's a hallway. Now what if I want to make a tall block behind this block? I can do all kinds of crazy cool things. And I can build on the shapes that I already have. Here to build multi-tiered buildings. I can make other extensions. I can make stairs. And instead of trying to guess those angles, you're using this method that makes it a surefire way to get everything right every time. It's really fun to kind of build a little world with this. You can build a street. You can build just something that couldn't actually exist in the real world. It's just really a fun tool to kind of mess with people's minds. Okie doke. So, get your 9 squares in there and then play with it. Start building another fun thing in there and enjoy.